What's up, everybody? Good morning. Welcome to a Saturday edition of Morning Scone, presented by Brock. Morning Scone, presented by Brock, the Baton Rouge Orthopedic Clinic, which is still open, by the way. After hours clinic and everything. So they're deemed essential. If you need an orthopedist, you need your OT, your PT. I mean, all that stuff don't stop just because of what's going on. So get on by, see our friends at Brock if you need them. They are there. They're there for the after hours clinic today. So find yourself in need of an orthopedist in a hurry. Our friends over at Brock can help you out. Hope y'all are having a great morning. Hope in spite of everything you had a great week. Everyone is healthy and making it through. If you're quarantined or practicing social distancing or whatever the case may be, thanks for hanging out with us here either way. Let's see. All right. So we are, let me start with this, and I'm going to remind you of this throughout the show today. Jordy Collada and I, we are bringing back Whiskey and Wine tonight. So many of you have asked for the LSU football season recap version of Whiskey and Wine, and what better time than now when everybody's TV shows and sporting events and all are canceled. So we're going to do it tonight, 9-ish from here, from Casa de Scone. Here's the caveat, okay? Everyone watching on Facebook, we are moving the show to the 1045 ESPN Baton Rouge YouTube account. Don't freak out. Let me explain, okay? Please don't freak out. Let me explain. There's no sense in putting off talking about this stuff anyway. Y'all have been here for the long haul, so I'm all about being candid with our audience. So we soon will be offering all of our lineup, Off the Bench, Sports Today, Hanging with Hester, AFR. All of our lineup is going to be available soon, possibly as early as this week. The plan was for this to happen in the summer, but at this point, it's like, well, why wait now? I mean, everything is in flux. Everyone, in many respects, has hit the reset button. So all of our shows are going to be available via YouTube Live on the 1045 ESPN Baton Rouge YouTube channel. So we have the station channel, and then we have all of the station account channel, and then on there you can look at the other channels where we have all the shows. We've been pushing a lot of like the short form video and interviews and a lot of that stuff onto the show channels, which will remain. But the big channel, the 1045 ESPN Baton Rouge channel, is where our live shows are going to originate. So that's where tonight we're going to do Whiskey and Wine. The reason this is good news is literally anybody with an internet connection has YouTube. Everybody with a smartphone has YouTube. Everybody with a smart TV has YouTube. Not everyone has a Facebook account. The other part of it too, candidly, is we can monetize shows on YouTube. We can't monetize shows on Facebook, except for doing things like this, like putting up a banner. So at this time where everyone is looking at how, that's going to be one for us. So tonight we will be on, when Jordy and I will do Whiskey and Wine, we will do it live on the 1045 ESPN Baton Rouge YouTube channel. So go to YouTube, please subscribe to the 1045 ESPN Baton Rouge YouTube channel. Hit the bell, which is notifications, and we'll be there. All right. Let's say some good mornings here. Tony Williams, Pat Huseman, Meridoc Baraki, good morning. Nice move by the Saints last night. I agree. You'll get to that in a second. Saints sign Andrus Peat and Emmanuel Sanders. Love them both. I'll talk about it in a second. Hey, Dad, good morning. Nick Torina, Stephen Miller, Kipper, Spike Sylvester, Jason Brown, good morning. Ryan Dixon, odds of a John Brady story from Jordy tonight. Okay, how about this? If we can get an approved John Brady story, we'll do it. Or maybe we'll just get Jordy to talk like, do the John Brady voice. But a story like what happened prior, well, that's unlikely. Brian wins, Sam Bacon, morning, Matt. Saints have offensive weapons now. I love it. So last night, if you missed it, Saints signed Emmanuel Sanders. You might remember Sanders began out of SMU, began his career in Pittsburgh, was on that Super Bowl team that I played the Packers and lost. I think that might have been even his rookie year. Went from Pittsburgh to Denver last season, started the season with Denver, was traded to San Francisco mid-season, of course. They went to the Super Bowl. Last year, with the Broncos and Niners combined, 60 or 66 catches for almost 900 yards and 5 touchdowns. Keep in mind, there was no receiver on the Saints after Mike Thomas who had more than 30. It was Mike Thomas with 141, and then it was Kamara, Cook, Latavius Murray, and then Ted Ginn with 30 catches. You're talking about a guy who a year ago, even at 32 years old, now 33, doubled the production of your second best receiver from this past season. So I am all for this Emmanuel Sanders signing. I think this is exactly what the Saints need. A guy who's older but can still blow the top off the defense. He's your deep threat. You get him for 2 years at $16 million. I mean, $8 million per. And let's see how it's structured to see what if it's guaranteed and whatnot. But man, I love the Emmanuel Sanders signing. What it also does is it doesn't make taking a receiver at 24 a necessity. Now, if Justin Jefferson's there, if Henry Ruggs is there, if there's a receiver there at 24 that you decide that's our guy, highest rated guy on the board, we want him, you can still take him. But it doesn't make getting a receiver an absolute necessity right now. Brady Smith, what's up? Who dat 504 boy over on YouTube? What's up? Brady Smith says, I don't understand the Peat signing. Okay, let me try to explain it for you best I can. And I went through this yesterday in AFR, and I like it. I like the Peat signing. He got more money than I thought he was going to get. I'll candidly admit that. But I love the fact that Peat is only 26 years old. So he is entering his physical prime. He is far from past his physical prime. He has been very durable. And you may say, but Matt, he missed 6 games last year with a broken arm. Okay, a broken arm for an offensive lineman is kind of a freak thing. Knees, feet, shoulders, if those were persistent, then I'd be worried. Like Teron Armstead, who can't seem to get right because he's always got knee injury, like lower body, that's a problem. You break your arms, man, you can break your arm falling off your bike. You know what I mean? So he started 64 games for the Saints. I love his durability. Continuity. With Peat back, it means your entire offensive line from a year ago is back. And with a guy with McCoy at center who was a rookie last year, you keep continuity around him. He doesn't have to learn with new players around him. You still got Peat and Warford. I love that. And the other biggest thing about re-signing Andrus Peat is the fact that he is your backup left tackle. And you've had an injury-prone left tackle in Teron Armstead. So remember, that used to be Sinio Kelmente, where you let him walk in free agency a couple years ago to Houston. Well, Peat becomes your swing guy. Peat kicks out and plays left tackle. You still got Nick Easton hanging around. So it's like if Peat has to swing and play left tackle, well, Easton can step in and be your left guard like he did last year when Peat was injured. For so many, and that keeps Ryan Ramczyk on the right side. You don't have to think, okay, well, is this the time now to move Ramczyk over? And now you're moving him to left, and now you've weakened the right side. Now who's your right tackle? You know what I mean? So for many, many reasons, I think re-signing Andrus Peat was a very good deal. Let's see. Andrew Bear. Head isn't feeling great after having a few glasses of my new bourbons. Andrew. By the way, shout out. Andrew's wife, Erin, messaged me a few weeks ago, and asked me, I think she messaged me on Instagram. She said that you don't have Instagram. And so she messaged me there so she would see. She was asking for suggestions. So made a few. Andrew got the LSU pack of the purple and gold pack of Dead Soxy and 3 different bourbons. That Jefferson's Ocean Weeded barrel pick from Calandros is really good. I think it's in the, I don't want to say it because it was a gift, but for those that are curious, I think it's in the $80-ish range. It's pricey, but if you like weeded bourbon, like the Wellers and the Van Winkles, you will like that Jefferson's Ocean Weeded. It is very good. Let's see. Brian Andy Penn, good morning from Cumberland, Maryland, headed to Cincinnati. Y'all be safe on the road. Maury Holiday, good morning. How about the Saints picking up Sanders? Talked about that. Love it. And the other thing it does, man, is the, the with Sanders, it doesn't make drafting a receiver a necessity. And now that you've re-signed Peat, offensive guard isn't a necessity. What it really means is at 24, you can zero in on a linebacker. You can zero in on if Patrick Queen or Kenneth Murray are there at 24, which I think are your two best options in round one. And then the other thing Mike Detillier said, y'all keep this. Hey, Trivia said no YouTube again. YouTube is on. Yeah, YouTube's up, Trivia. I'm looking at it. Yeah, we're live on YouTube, Trivia. What was I going to say? Linebacker in the draft? Oh, Mike Detillier planted this seed the other day, and I'm curious. So talking to Sean Payton, he's mentioned it a couple of times that the value in the draft is like in the, 80, I forget what he said, 80 to 120, that range. So don't be surprised if the Saints, trade down. They've never done it under Payton, but don't be surprised if they do this year without a second round pick. No second round pick, so, and he thinks the value is where it is. Maybe he trades down to recoup a second round pick and maybe more picks. Hi. You slept so good. Somebody slept till almost 8 o'clock today. I love you. Did you have sweet dreams? You got in our bed at like 1 o'clock. Huh? Hey, what are you doing? Can you say hi, Dad Show? Can you say hi, Dad Show? No. Looks like he's still sleeping. Let's see. John David Mathern. Good morning, Scone. Real excited about Sanders signing. Reminds me of when Ginn signed a few years ago, gave him to stretch the field. Absolutely. It's a great comp. And Sanders is a guy that Sean Payton has always spoken highly of. Ryan Dixon, what will you be pouring tonight? Not sure. Make a suggestion. Let's see. Plant Machine Works. What's up, man? Can you still stay up your Facebook Live so we get the notification as a reminder? Let me see how we'll do it. My inclination is to post the link onto Facebook, but here's what I would say to do. Hey, bud. Is go to YouTube, like the 104.5 ESPN Baton Rouge page, and hit the bell, because the bell is your notification. So when we go live, you'll get a notification on your phone that we're live. Chuck Bro, can't wait. Nice. Eric Sonier, what's up? Jerry Spurge, morning from Dallas. Good morning. Reginald Balazaire, good morning. Craig Savoy, Bo Major. David Mataferri, what's up, man? Sean Eddy, what's up, Sean Eddy? Good morning, dude. Don Jolibois, good morning. Paul Bork. What happened to Scott Bork? Bubba Tatum, morning, Matt. Making my 5-year-old daughter, Darlene, watch with me this morning. Good morning, Darlene. That's my mom's name. Hey, what's mama's name? Darlene. Bubba's daughter's name is Darlene. She's 5 like you. How old are you? How old are you? 5. How old are you? You don't really seem like you're in the mood to answer my questions. It's okay. Okay. Chad Cornett, what is your YouTube? So, Chad, my YouTube is Matt Moscona. There's the Matt Moscona YouTube channel. We're live right there. But for Whiskey and Wine tonight, we'll be live on the 104.5 ESPN Baton Rouge YouTube channel. So please go to the 104.5 ESPN Baton Rouge YouTube channel. Hit subscribe, hit the bell for notification. Jordy and I will be live there tonight around 9 o'clock for Whiskey and Wine. David Furr, good morning. Bob Poole, good morning. Good morning from confinement. Oh, no, Bob. Hope you're not sick, man. Kathy Hernandez. Hey, Kathy Hernandez, good morning. Michael Moscona, what's up, cuz? Charles Alexander. Alexander the Great. All eyes on 4. Well, actually, it's all eyes on 3 for Kevin Falk. But Alexander the Great, still a pretty bad A nickname, you know what I mean? Courtney Storer, Joe, and Brian Hanno, good morning. Just subscribe to your YouTube channel. Thank you, Joe and Brian Hanno. Appreciate that. But remember, tonight for Whiskey and Wine, we are not on my YouTube channel. We are on the 1045 ESPN Baton Rouge YouTube channel. So, by the way, just as a... You want to get it all? How about this? Go to YouTube and subscribe to Matt Moscona, After Further Review, and 1045 ESPN Baton Rouge. Subscribe to all of them. All 3. Whoo, Jeff McKithen going to break out the Woodford Double Oaked for Whiskey and Wine. I don't know that I'm down with the Woodford Double Oaked, man. I don't love a real oaky bourbon. I don't want to feel like I'm licking a tree. So I'm curious how that goes. You'll have to let me know. Meridoc, pick 24 would have to be a linebacker, right? Meridoc, I would think that's certainly where the Saints have the biggest need right now, is at linebacker. Good news is Kiko Alonso's coming back, but he's coming off an ACL, so you don't know what you have. You still have Craig Robertson under contract. Alex Anzalone's back, but he's also been injured. You got Demario Davis is the only guy you have with no question marks. So if you can add you already let AJ Klein walk, got a big deal from the Bills, got $18 million from the Bills. Fine. I would think that they're going to go linebacker. If Queen or Murray are on the board, I'm fine with it. Otherwise, I would say roll with cornerback, or if one of those receivers are there. Blaine Allen, good morning. Derek Maness, Saints go Fulton first round. They could. I don't know what they think about Fulton though, Derek. You know, and I've talked about this before, but Fulton to me is the guy who I think of all those 6 guys that are sort of the consensus among the LSU players are going to be the first 6 taken. Fulton is the guy that I think has the widest margin, potentially. It would not surprise me at all if a team looked at Christian Fulton and said, you're the second best corner in this draft. Jeff Okudah from Ohio State goes in the top 5, and then the next team that needs a cornerback takes him at 14, 15, 16. Like, that would not surprise me at all. It would also not surprise me if no team takes him in round 1. Maybe because he got picked on a little this year, the film wasn't as great. He had the off-the-field stuff, obviously, with falsifying the P test, and then he dropped until there was a run in the second round on cornerbacks, because that always happens. You have the first guys come off the board, and then there's a positional run. So this normally happens with running backs. So the elite guys will come, and then round 2, 3, whatever. The first time someone takes a running back, well, then every running back needy team starts plucking the running backs that they have on their board at that time. So I think it would not surprise me if Fulton goes 16. It would not surprise me if Fulton goes 60. I think he has the biggest gap. Nicole Havard, good morning. Jeff McKithen and a Devil's River bourbon dipped cigar. We will have stogies for sure. Shout out to Don Juan Cigar Bar on that one, by the way. Jason Truax, good morning. Brandon Atchison, I miss sports. Knowing that we're supposed to have a baseball game today, but everything is canceled, is still tough to swallow and really sucks. Today should be day 2 of the LSU Mississippi State series. No doubt, man. And especially with JT Ginn, having Tommy John and missing the season, that certainly would have put State at a pretty significant disadvantage in this series against LSU. So. And yesterday should have been the second full day of the NCAA tournament. So we should be, perhaps LSU basketball could be playing in the second round today. Bummer. Brittany Delahousse, good morning. Andrew Bear, thanks again for the amazing bourbon suggestions to my wife for our anniversary. 4 Roses amazing. Jefferson's Ocean small batch is phenomenal. It is. Remember, what she got you was the Jefferson's Ocean Weeded. That's a newer product from Ocean. They have the Jefferson's Ocean's bourbon. But what you got is a weeded barrel pick from Calandro's, which is phenomenal. Dylan Landry, good morning. Bubba Tatum, good morning. 4 Roses Small Batch Select. He got 4 Roses Small Batch. That's what she got him. I like the 4 Roses Single Barrel, but Small Batch is really good too. Glad to see the Saints spending every penny for a final run with Breeze. No doubt, they're all in. I mean, they're going all in. Jeremy Hoskins, Jay Rochelle, what's up, dude? Kevin Graham, Brandon Browning. Good morning, y'all. Good morning. Good morning. Catch up with y'all over here on YouTube. Arthur Street. Matt, do you think defense is the only thing we should worry about in the draft? No, because I think you have to get a young receiver because you don't know Sanders and Ginn how much longer, and you invested already big time in Mike Thomas as you should have, but understanding you don't know what Traquan Smith's future is going to hold, and I'll put it to you this way as well. Bless you. Rookie contracts are more manageable. Bless you. He thinks it's simple. He thinks sneezes are hilarious. Remember, so you draft a rookie, you get him on a essentially rookie on the cheap deal. Uh-oh. We need to vent your belly. Hang on, guys. Let me go vent his belly real quick. Be right back. Right back. Right back. Sorry about that, y'all. We had to switch Drew to a new. He wasn't gaining weight, so we had to switch him to a new food in his G tube, which is just a higher volume of calories and stuff. And so, anytime we make any changes to his feeds, man, it's a process for Drew to kind of come along with that. Oh, I forgot to share Morning Scone on Twitter. All right, here we go. Boop. All right. Okay, so where were Arthur had asked? So Arthur, I'm not opposed to drafting a receiver because you get guys on rookie deals, then you got them on the cheap for 4 years. So no, I would still absolutely take a receiver at some point in this draft and an offensive lineman. Only need we have left is linebacker and corner. I agree, those are your biggest needs. Hope we draft another receiver. Yeah, y'all. Who Dat boy said Klein ain't worth $18 million. I agree, especially if he's not healthy. Oh no. I'm live on. Whoops. Are we live on the Matt Moscona channel or are we live on the ESPN channel? I just noticed. Okay, no, I think we are live on Matt Moscona channel. Okay, good. All right, anyway, let's see. Back to Facebook. Sorry about that, y'all. I had to go run to, vent his belly. All right, let's see. Jeremy, let's see. All right, here we go. Got it. Queen or Fulton? Jack Davis. Queen or Fulton at 24 if they're still on the board. I think Queen, I'm with you. And I might even take Kenneth Murray over Queen, TBD. But either one of those guys is 24. Fulton would be fine. I'm curious how the Saints feel about it. That's all. I don't know if the Saints feel like, and especially, no pro day. How do they feel about it? I don't know. George Rettmeyer, good morning. Garrett Scheck-Snyder, good morning. Blaine Smith, hope Patrick Queen falls to the Saints. If the Saints could trade for a quality linebacker before the draft, they could pick up Jefferson or Delpit. The Saints are not going to be in the market for a safety. I can't see that. You just signed Malcolm Jenkins. You still got Marcus Williams. You drafted C.J. Gardner-Johnson. I can't see them drafting a safety in this draft. Jefferson, if he's there at 24, I could absolutely see him pulling the trigger. But again, I think bigger need is linebacker. And if one of those guys on the board at 24, I think they pull the trigger there. Everett Email, good morning. Greg Daigle, Bubba Tatum, going to try to get a bottle of Elijah Craig 18. Where? Oh, it's so good. Where? Bubba, tell me where. Get 2. I'll buy it from you. Jennifer Allen, good morning. Keith Duplessis. Hey, Mama Ford, good morning. Daniel Cass, Saints. Should the Saints sign Janoris Jenkins? Yes. They're going to. So this year, Jenkins' deal was not guaranteed. So, and his cap hit was really low as well. So they can sign him to a new contract, which save, I think, $11 million or something if he didn't play out the year on this contract. So they'll make it team friendly. But Janoris Jenkins will be back. Brian Ashcraft, good morning. Jason Truax, obviously you have to pour the Natty Babe tonight, only option. Why would that be my only option, Jason? Natty. Oh, look at you, Jason. Huh. Because we're talking about the Natty. Okay. I like it, Jason. I was gonna pour. Up on that top shelf. I got Van Winkle Lot B. I've got an old Rip 10. I got my Kentucky Owl 11-year rye. I got my Thomas Handy. I got my Four Roses Small Batch Limited Edition. The limited edition might be one of the best things I've ever had in my life. I got Elmer T. Lee. I got a Michter's 10. Got my Weller 12. Got my Rhetoric. Got my Stag Junior. Blanton's Gold. Maybe I'll go with the Natty Babe. It makes a lot of sense, doesn't it? Doesn't it make a lot of sense to go Natty? Yeah, you know what, Jason? Good on you, man. It makes a lot of sense. Hey, Mark Landry, good morning. Sure thing, Bubba. Happy to do it, man. Excuse me. Brandon English, pour some of that Stag Junior tonight. Would like to know what you think about it. You know what, Brandon? How about if I need to do a whiskey review. Again, everyone's been asking me to do that, and I just been negligent. I just need like I'd have with this, and I have a regiment and a schedule that I do things. I just need to start doing that again with the whiskey reviews, and I'll do it. So I'll do it. Ryan Dixon, Weller 12. Specs in Houston sold all allocated stuff for bars and eateries to the public. Dudes walking out with cases of Weller 12. Oh. Oh, I want to cry. Josh LaFontaine, good morning. Chad Brown, Sean Kelly, but it makes me think if there's places in Baton Rouge that might be doing the same thing. Andrew Baird, do we still have Teo, free agent? Clay Myers, good morning. Irfan Sayad, Edward Cooper, what's up, Edward? Good morning. Kevin Boudreau, if Jefferson's still on the board after signing Sanders, do we still draft him? I think it depends who else is on the board. So something to keep in mind is that Sean Payton will stick to his board and draft best available. If they have Jefferson as the 14th, hypothetically, best player on the board, and he's still available at 24, and they also have, let's say they have Queen at 20, and he's still available, they'll take the guy they think is the 14th best player, even if it's not at a position of need. Let's see. Jenkins is a good cornerback. If they plan on keeping him, they can concentrate on linebacker and wide receiver. I'm with you. Arthur Blanchard, thoughts on Emmanuel Sanders going to the Saints? Talked about it a good bit already this morning, Arthur. And I posted a video last night, a 60 seconds of Scone video on it. Hi, bud. Did your show end? Do you want, innovation? Do you want Mickey Mouse? Well, tell me what you want. Do you want Get Lost Mr. Chips? Do you want liquid? Do you want Happy Mouse Good Day? Happy Mouse Good Day. Okay. Let's do it right here. All right, y'all. We got an episode of Mickey Mouse on, so that should take us for about 20 minutes or so before he comes back again. Casey Date, Taylor Talbot, Tony Williams. I really like LSU basketball and football recruiting class so far for 2021. Tony, basketball has 7 players either committed or signed. Half the roster is going to turn over. The biggest thing that I'm curious on is what the NCAA does with eligibility. And talked about this with Kendall Rogers, and a lot of y'all probably missed that interview, so go watch it on the AFR YouTube channel. It was really fascinating because Kendall of D1 Baseball said what he's hearing now, the NCAA initially said they were going to give leniency with eligibility to everybody. Now it's just seniors, which is crap balls, but that's what he's talking about, what they're talking about doing. And if they do that, but that alleviates a lot of the questions about basketball rosters, right? But the biggest question is what happens with the underclassmen in basketball? Smart, Williams, Days, Watford. Which of them go? Which of them return? For what it's worth, in every mock draft I've looked at, and I've probably looked at a dozen mock drafts, built big boards, all that stuff. Only his backpack's beeping. God dog. I'm sorry, y'all. Only Skylar Mays and Trenton Watford are on everybody's big board and have draftable grades. All right, last time, y'all. I'm very sorry. Sorry. Is anybody still watching? Wow, 11 hanging on YouTube. How many of y'all hanging on Facebook? 62 still hanging on Facebook. Respect. Thank y'all very much. I appreciate that. Okay, I think we're on YouTube, and someone asked, Tedra Covington, should the Saints draft Jacob Eason? So that for me is the biggest question that nobody's really talking about. Trivia. I miss Morning Scone Uncensored. Me jokes and Drew dropping the F-bomb. Those were the days. Drew did have a phase where he dropped the F-bomb. He did. He did. Yes, he did. As much as I tried to play it off, he definitely had a phase where he dropped the F-bomb. Anyway. Quarterback. So let's look at this, how obviously what we know. Drew Brees is signed, and Taysom Hill is a first-round tender, so he'll be back. Okay. You're not going to use Taysom Hill in his slash role if he's your only backup quarterback. Not realistic. You can't have Taysom Hill be, running out for passes and blocking defensive ends and covering kicks if he's your only backup option. Because what happens if Drew Brees hits his thumb on Aaron Donald's helmet and misses 5 weeks? Well, Taysom Hill then is no longer in that role, right? He's your quarterback. And you can't risk injuring him. So you need to have a third quarterback on the roster. If you're going to keep Taysom Hill in his current role this year, which I think they are because he's most valuable there, then you need another option at quarterback. You can either go sign a veteran free agent. You can, Chase Daniel would have made a lot of sense, but he got a deal to go play with the Lions. Like, you can sign a veteran free agent. Go look at guys like Sam Bradford or any of these guys around. Maybe Joe Flacco. Who knows? Just go grab a guy that's out on the street that has been a starter before. You could do that, or you can draft a guy. If you're sitting there at 24 and Jordan Love or Jacob Eason's on the board and Sean Payton decides that's our guy, then you take him. Then you take him and you let him sit and learn from Drew for a year or maybe 2, and then he becomes your guy. The same way that Rodgers was behind Favre, and Daniel Jones was behind Eli, and you have those situations sometimes. So anyway, let's see. Gotta find my spot again, sorry. Eric Hart, good morning. Megan Hurst, good morning. Patrick Kaysen, good morning. Et tu, Joel. If you've not hit the share button yet, please hit the share. That would be tremendously helpful. On YouTube as well, if you could share the post to Twitter or however you can. Facebook, we'd appreciate it. Craig Schilling, what's up, man? Bob Poole, black and bourbon with an Arturo Fuente for the show tonight. So that's what you're going with, Bob. I love it. Remember, a reminder, again, if you're just watching now, Whiskey and Wine returns tonight, the 2019 LSU football season recap edition, and we are going to be on YouTube, not Facebook, YouTube, on the 1045 ESPN Baton Rouge YouTube channel. So please go to YouTube, type in 1045 ESPN, hit the subscribe button, hit the bell. The bell will means you'll get a notification when we go live. YouTube. No quarterback we're taking is going to be at 24. I'll disagree with you, Kevin. Let me not remind you that the reigning NFL MVP went 32nd overall, the very last pick of round 1. I will just flatly disagree. Aaron Rodgers was a 20s pick. I will flatly disagree with you on that. There's no quarterback we're taking at 24. Because if that's your theory, then no quarterbacks were taken after the first 2 or 3 that go in the top 10 picks. I'll just flatly disagree with you, man. If Sean Payton sees his guy, he'll get him. Kelly Gross, good morning. Brian Ashcraft, good morning. Linebacker is first. Linebacker is definitely the biggest need. But as we've seen, let's see what's on the board whenever they pick. Eric Barnett, good morning. Jeremy Hoskins, you'd think It's the second coming of Christ down here in Tampa with the Brady signing. I think the Bucks finished no better than third in the division. I'll disagree with that, Jeremy. I think the Saints win the division. The Bucks finish second. I think the Bucks will get to 10-6. They'll be that type of team. And with 7 teams now in the playoffs, I think the Bucks will make the playoffs as a wild card. Atlanta is the team I'm just not worried about at all. Atlanta stinks. Their offensive line stinks. And they went and signed an injury-prone running back, and they got an old quarterback, and Atlanta stinks. Brady Law. Love the Sanders signing. Do you still think wide receivers on the table in round 1? I've been getting that question a lot this morning, Brady. By the way, Whiskey and Wine tonight on the 104.5 ESPN YouTube channel. I do think wide receivers on the board if the right guy's there, no question. Elijah, now I think I'll switch. Barrel proof it is. Kenneth Murray's a stud, 100 tackles, always around the ball. Murray and Queen are, I think, the 2 options for the Saints at 24 if they go linebacker, because just the way linebackers, the position has changed. It's no longer Dick Butkus, Mike Singletary, the big 250, 260-pound linebacker that stands in the middle and tries to shed offensive guards and fill the gaps. You got to play sideline to sideline. You got to be able to defend sideline to sideline on the field, so you got to be able to run, and then you also got to be able to cover backs and tight ends. So it's just a different position now, and Murray and Queen are those guys. I mean, that's why Patrick Queen rocketed up everybody's draft boards. Everybody saw him against Clemson. They were like, geez. Or I guess against Oklahoma, and then against Clemson. It was like, my God. Daniel Cass, go safe with Buffalo Trace. But remember, Buffalo Trace, Daniel, distills Blanton's and Weller and the Van Winkle. So, I mean, it's all the same family anyway. George, too early, making me thirsty. Hey, bud. Bo Major, what's up, Matt? Listening from Women's Hospital. My wife and I brought our baby girl into world Thursday. Weird quarantine times and hospital rules, getting ready to go home. Kick rocks coronavirus. So, Bo, congratulations to you and your wife, man. That's great news. Hope everybody's safe and healthy and happy and all that good stuff, man. So, congrats to y'all. Cheers. Cheers. This is my coffee, but cheers. A lot of morning Scone babies. Bo Major, I think it was Brian Ashcraft who told me they just had their baby and had a little NICU stay, but everybody's good now. I think I'm leaving somebody else. Somebody else told me that they just had their baby recently. They'll remind me. Hey, Josh Long, good morning. Daniel, what are your thoughts on the Malcolm Jenkins signing? I'm skeptical. I love it. He's 32, so he's not 26. But, well, obviously, hashtag math. But I love having the quarterback of the defense. I love having leadership back there. You didn't have to overpay for him. Sean Payton loves him. Coming back home, I mean, I don't have a problem with it, especially at the price tag. You had to make a decision if you were going to pay Von Bell, and they decided instead that they were going to pay Andrus Peat and go get Emmanuel Sanders, and they're going to have to pay Alvin Kamara. And like we always say, you can't pay everybody. And if you ask me, would I rather pay those other guys, let Von Bell walk and bring back Malcolm Jenkins, or sign Von Bell and let Andrus Peat walk and not add a wide receiver, or maybe struggle to get that deal done with Kamara? No, I like the way they're doing it. I mean, I don't have any issue at all with what the Saints are doing with their roster. And you don't have many glaring holes, but you're going into the draft having addressed some of your needs already. So it gives you a lot of the luxury in the draft to look at who's the best player on the board, best player at position of need, and snag that guy. You don't feel desperate like you have to reach on somebody. Kevin Milano, Stacey Abear, good morning. Brian Wynn, Watford really needs to come back for at least one more year. Needs to get stronger and polish some stuff. Brian, let me remind you that many of you said the same thing last year about Naz Reid, and Naz Reid made the NBA, made the big club roster with Minnesota. The reality is, and the same thing I said about Reid, I'll tell you now about Watford. Would Naz Reid have benefited? Would he have become a better player had he come back to LSU? Yes. Would Trendon Watford benefit by getting a year bigger, stronger, all that stuff? Yes, no question. But the good Lord didn't make many dudes that are 6'9", 6'10", with soft hands that can step back and shoot and can pivot and handle the ball around the rim. And Naz Reid can do that, and Watford can do that, and that's what this NBA is becoming. So it would not surprise me at all. I fully expect Watford will declare. I think he will go through the combine process, get feedback. Selfishly, I hope the feedback is go back to school and he comes back for another year, because if you get Watford back and you add the Georgetown transfer and you add Sharif O'Neal, and then you're adding like Jalen Cook, a true point guard, and then maybe you get Javante back for another year, or Emmett or Darius back for another year, then you're talking about being the favorite to win the SEC. Caught right. Good morning. Jack Davis, ask Jordy if we can get his projected starting line for football tonight. We'll do that. Or Jack, why don't you watch us on the 104.5 ESPN YouTube channel tonight for Whiskey and Wine and ask me a question yourself. Josh Long, Drew's cussing basically made him stop. Kirk Taylor, good morning. Watched Major League 2 last night. Was happy to hear the pop of a glove. Yeah. Clayton Wolf, good morning. Irfan Sayad, do you think Peyton keeps telling Taysom that he's the future just to make sure he stays around? No, Irfan, because if that were the case, then there's no way that lip service, there's no way that's lip service when you offer a first-round tender. Like, they've committed a gigantic nut to a guy in Taysom Hill that is that they're just playing lip service to about being a quarterback. No, you put a first round tender on that guy and what they're about to pay him, there's no question they're serious about potentially making him a quarterback, at least giving him the opportunity to try to win that job, depending on what they do in free agency or the draft. Jimmy Vadrine, what's up, man? Monty Braley, good morning, Matt. If you revisit the possible returners for LSU basketball, if you will revisit possible returners for basketball. Okay, so the four I just mentioned, you got Javante, Darius, Emmett Williams, and Trenton Watford. So those are the guys that you're kind of keeping an eye on. As far as if they'll go to the draft. Now you got 7 signees, right? So, and you only got 2 seniors. So somewhere, some of these guys, you had 3 seniors. With Skylar, Marlon, and Marshall Graves. You had 3 seniors. So that puts you at 10. You're bringing in 7 to put you at 17. So 4 more guys have to go. If the 4 I mentioned leave, well, your roster's fine. But chances are you're going to get some of those guys back, which means you look at the rest of the roster and you go, does James Bishop or Cortez Cooper have a spot? You don't know. That's whoever the guys are to make the roster work. We'll see, but I would love to see any of those guys come back, man. Javante, Darius, Emmett, Trendon. In order, I think Watford would be my number 1. Javante would be my number 2. Emmett 3, Darius 4, but I'd take any of them back. I mean, any of those guys back. Especially the sophomores come back for a 3rd year, which you just don't see much. Yeah, absolutely. Justin Beard, Mark Parent, Josh Long. He'll need a rocket up his bleep. I don't know what that's about, sorry. Kirk Taylor, what time is Whiskey and Wine? Thank you for asking, Kirk. Whiskey and Wine tonight, 9-ish Central Time from Casa de Scone out on the back patio. Me, Jordy Collada, on the 104.5 ESPN YouTube channel. So please go to youtube.com, type in 104.5 ESPN, hit subscribe, hit the bell for notifications so that way when we go live, you'll be notified. You can watch on your phone. If you have a smart TV, no more need for the Watch 104.5 app on a Roku. No matter what smart TV you have, every smart TV has YouTube. So no matter what smart TV in your home or on your patio, there we are. So we'll look forward to seeing you there. Irfan Sayad, married, present. Jeff, got a set up for takeout and delivery. Looking forward to 9. See you then, Jeff. Jeff's down at Palace Cafe in New Orleans. If y'all are down in NOLA, y'all go see Jeff. Patronize these great local businesses and keep their doors open, man. Is the link you shared about whiskey and wine the right YouTube channel link? Let me check. Good looking out, but it should be. It's the 1045 ESPN YouTube channel. That's what it should be. So, let me go check. Did you get the link on YouTube or on Twitter? Anyway, I'll remind you again. I'm waiting for this to load. I'll remind you again. Let's see. Boom. Yeah, 1045 ESPN. That's it. So, and again, because I know a lot of people maybe just joined us, so let me reiterate. It's the 1045 page presently has 337 subscribers. We have not. I'll catch you all up for those who are just maybe joining us. And if you heard this earlier, I apologize, but I'll fill you in. So, and I'm all about full disclosure with our audience. So, for all of our shows, Off the Bench, Sports Today, Hanging with Hester, AFR, we understand people watch digitally, and so we made a big push for our over-the-top OTT, our over-the-top platform, the Watch 1045 app. The decision that management has made recently, which is is the right decision, is look, we've got our own platform, the Watch 1045 app, and some people use it for sure, but instead of trying to push everyone to our app, why not put our content where everybody already is, which is just a much more seamless process. For example, how many people have asked me, so we have the Watch 1045 app on Roku. A lot of people said, hey, you can put it on Amazon, Fire Stick, you can put it on Apple TV. Well, to build out the app for all of those different platforms individually is very expensive. So it's a much more effective model to say, instead of like making the world conform to our app, how about if we conform for the rest of the world? So we're going to put all of our shows, and the plan was to do this over the summer, but in light of everything that's happened, it's like, let's just do it now. I mean, basically everyone's hit reset, So Off the Bench, Sports Today, Hanging with Hester, AFR, soon, possibly if they can get all set up as early as this week, will all be available on YouTube Live. I'm still going to be on CST. I don't know if we might still be on the Watch app also. But anyway, we will be on YouTube Live. All of our shows very soon will be available on YouTube Live. So that way, no matter what smart, if it's your phone, if it's your iPad, your tablet, your smart TV, everything has YouTube, and it's free. So you'll just watch on YouTube. So anyway, that's our big push. Is let's get people to the 1045 ESPN YouTube channel. So, and again, I know this is confusing because I'm gonna come back to the YouTube comments here in a second, y'all. My apologies, but the big push has been, and I don't mean to be confusing because like there's the 1045, and there's the AFR, and there's the OTB, and there's the map of Scone. There's a lot of different channels, but ultimately, think of it this way: at the top will be 1045 ESPN. All of the shows will be live on the 1045 ESPN channel. If you go to 1045 ESPN and hit channels, each show has its own channel. That's where clips will be. So if you just start at 1045, that's where we will be live. And then there's a tab that says channels, and that's where you'll get the clips of every show. Does that make sense? Hope so. So anyway, tonight, so our objective tonight is let's make everybody go through the practice of finding the 1045 ESPN Baton Rouge YouTube channel, because that's where all of our live stuff is going to be soon. So come on and join us tonight. And look, everybody's got YouTube, right? So even if you're not subscribed on YouTube, and it's free. It's not like you have to pay a subscription or anything. It's just So you get the videos on your feed, just like following someone on Twitter or liking a page on Facebook. That's the subscribe on YouTube. And then hit the bell, which will notify you when we're live. Let's see, trivia. Are we passing on Alex Anzalone? I don't know. He's back, and his contract next year is like $1.02 million. Super cost effective. Last year was rookie deal. So you bring him back, just see if he can be healthy, And if he's healthy, he has a good year, then you address his contract in free agency. You're certainly not going to extend him now. He ain't done anything. Brian Pinton, there you go. Got you on YouTube. Thank you, man. Who dat 504 boy? You think Jalen Hurts will be available in the third round? No, I don't. I do not. I think he will be taken before then. I think the versatile. Now, I do think not having a pro day hurts a guy like Jalen Hurts. No pun intended. But I think that would have been a great opportunity for him to go throw and go through quarterback drills and let teams see him and get to know Jalen Hurts as a quarterback. But I do think he'll be off the board before round 3. All hail Mickey Loomis, cap space god. You know what, who dat 504 boy? Here's the reality. It's not Mickey Loomis. And Mike Detillier said this many times. It's Kai Harley. Kai Harley is the guy in the front office who's actually their capologist. He's the one who knows everything about the numbers and the contracts and how to convert money to signing bonus to free space. Like it's Kai who knows all that stuff. It's not Mickey. Anyway. Jalen Hurts can play the same role as Taysom Hill as he did at Bama. I'd be down with that. I don't hate the idea of Jalen Hurts as an NFL quarterback. Some people do. I don't hate that idea. I think, now he had a world of trouble against that LSU defense, which gives me pause, even with some really talented skill guys. But I don't hate the idea of Jalen Hurts developing as an NFL quarterback. Great athlete who can develop as an NFL quarterback. I don't hate that idea. Tampa Bay still has a weak secondary. I agree. Look, Tampa has Shaq Barrett. They obviously drafted Devin White last year, so I think they're good at the first two levels of their defense. I think they're weak on the interior, but defensively. And I agree with you on their secondary. And it remains to be seen if 43-year-old Tom Brady is going to be good enough to have them in competition to win the division and potentially win a Super Bowl. Let's not forget, y'all, Tom Brady's QBR this year was the exact same as Jameis Winston's. They had identical QBRs this season. Now, the big difference, obviously, was the turnovers. Jameis turned the ball over. He had 30 interceptions. But yeah, I do think, no question, you get a quarterback that's won 6 titles, that is a maniacal worker and all that. It's an improvement over Jameis. I don't think that's any question. I don't know if 43-year-old Tom Brady is enough to get Tampa over the hump, but it's going to be fascinating to see. Saints are the only team in the division with a real defense. That I agree with. Matt, who do you have stepping up as LSU's number 3 receiver behind Chase and Marshall? Gracie McMath. But the guy to watch, the potential up-and-comer guy to watch would be Trey Palmer. They love him, and he just didn't get a chance last year because of all the all hail. Hey, who dat 504 boy? It's Kai. Is Kai. Like, remember the kicker, Kai Forbath? Kai, that's how you spell it. Hey, bud. Come see Daddy. Hey, Drew, come. Hey, I'll tell you something. Come here. Come here. Hey, guess what? Top-hoo-rap.
No.
Down. Drew and I wrestle in the evenings. And I'll body slam him on the couch.
I know you.
And he kicks his legs. I body slam him on the couch.
Do you?
And then I go off the rope and I go, top rope. When I splash on him, but not really hard. And then I kiss his face and he loves it. He thinks it's hilarious.
How do you do?
How do you do? How you doing?
How do you do? 4.
4. How old? Oh, hey, Drew. He said, how old are you? Hey, how old are you? You're 5. 5. How old are you? That's what he was saying. How old are you? 4. It's unfortunate for poor boy. Like, he doesn't understand birthdays and all that stuff. So That's like we tell him, all for a year, we tell him you're 4, you're 4, you're 4. So now he's trained to say, he knows he's 4, and then he's 5, and now it's like, how old are you? 4. I'm like, no, you're 5. You're 5. Oh, man. All right, let's see. Jason Rayburn, Deborah Todd, good morning. Patrick Casey just subscribed to YouTube 1045. What time, whiskey and wine? 9 o'clock. 9 o'clock.
That is
Let's see. Really? Daddy's work? Okay. What do you do at Daddy's work? Right in the elevator. Ben Clark, Cruthards, good morning. Rhett Cruthards, good morning. David Hawes, pumped about the new Lawnmower 3.0. Thanks for turning me on to the Manscaped products. Have you picked up the 3.0 yet? David, that wasn't me, man. I've never had the Manscaped product. I've seen the commercials for them. I've never used them. I'd probably like to, because I like most men do Manscaped. I have trimmers, trim all my chest hair and all back and all, other stuff. But David, I've never endorsed Manscaped, so. But let me know how it works. Let me know how it works. Maybe we talked about it once here. James Bergen, good morning. Who will back up Miles Brennan, assuming he's the number 1? No reason to think he won't unless he gets hurt. I'll disagree with you there, James. They like Max Johnson a lot. Miles still has to prove that he can be the guy. Everyone's making the assumption, and I'm telling you, I've heard it from too many people in and around that program. And the fact that LSU was seeking a grad transfer in this cycle tells you what you need to know. They tried to get the kid from Houston who went to Miami, De'Aaron King. They tried to get the Wake Forest kid who picked Georgia. Like LSU was going after grad transfers, which that I would say actions speak louder than words. That should tell you what you need to know. It's not to say Miles can't, but they're not convinced he can. That's the difference. Tony Williams, what happened to James Bishop? He's still on the roster for now. He just didn't play much. Michael Spazeo, good morning. Johnny Clark, good morning. Bob Poole, y'all don't forget to practice social distancing tonight on whiskey and wine. Never mind the bourbon, will keep you safe. We'll be fine. We'll be socially distanced. But let's see, Kirk Taylor, so no more watch app. So Kirk, I don't know that that's my place to answer that question, because I don't know when and in what capacity that stays or goes. What I do know is that all of our efforts are going to be YouTube live. We are going to be pushing our shows live on YouTube. All of our shows live on YouTube. Hey, bud, what are you doing? Got an extension cord keeping that phone plugged in. Let's make sure you didn't trip over it. Matt, have you tried the PBR hard coffee yet? I have not. I don't even know what PBR hard coffee is. Edward, is it Pabst Blue Ribbon? It's like beer coffee. That's odd if that's what it is. But I'll give it a go. I'll try anything, most anything once. My dad said he got YouTube, the letter U tube. Old people. He put the letter U tube. But thank you, Dad. I appreciate your support and I love you very much. Thank you for your support of Tiger Athletics. Jared Gazzardo, Jared O'Quinn, Kirk Taylor asking, Erica's sleeping. Elevator rides today. See, here's the thing, man. Like, our building is totally on lockdown. Like, they're only letting essential personnel in the building because they don't want anybody potentially to bring in the virus and get people sick. And then it's like, what happens to our shows? Like, So they've been super, super, super leery about that. Oh, okay. David said, Matt, you did Manscaped reads on the Locked on LSU podcast. Thank you for doing Locked on LSU. We'll be watching tonight on YouTube. Gotcha, David. So just so you know, that's why it didn't ring a bell. So on Locked On, it's interesting. They do the way that Locked On works is we get paid by the download. So like there's an algorithm that pays us based on, so the more people that listen to our shows, the more we get paid. And that is obviously influenced whenever we have ad buys. So like Manscaped or some of those have come in and made a buy, like they'll buy the college channel for 2 weeks or something, and so then everybody in the college channel does those reads. So that's what that was. That's why it didn't ring a bell. But I have seen their products before, and that is tricky though. But yes, but so just so you know, that wasn't something that like I went out and sold, or that was like a across the whole Locked On, network. They did a buy, and sometimes you'll see like big national advertisers, go through their agency to make buys like that, where they'll go look for a certain demographic. So in Manscaped, they're obviously looking for men. So like sports listeners, men, age, whatever, and so then they'll look at like the Locked On metrics and how many downloads a week. And so they're in some ways it's spots and dots. They're just trying to fill in, their demo and then blast away there and see what works and then commit more there. So, but anyway, but thank you, David. I appreciate it, man. Thank you for listening to Locked On. I've enjoyed doing that. It's been, candidly, it's been tough the last 2 weeks. It's been really, because my concern primarily has been doing AFR and taking care of all of our local businesses here that advertise with us. And I have been, I feel like I always work hard for them, but I've ramped up my efforts because, man, I love these people, man. They're my friends. They run great businesses. I'm proud to be partnered with them, and I want to do whatever I can to help them get their message out, whatever that is, So, anyway. Okay. Drew looks like he's going for the whiskey. Pete Giardino, about time for whiskey and wine. Pete, I'll remind you, we will be tonight on the 104.5 ESPN Baton Rouge YouTube channel for whiskey and wine. So, Pete, if you're not on YouTube, 104.5 ESPN Baton Rouge YouTube channel for whiskey and wine. Drew might decide he wants to knock the camera down. I think Drew is going to be asleep for whiskey and wine tonight. Colby Hester, good morning. Josh Long, Drew's essential personnel, don't they know? Well, that's kind of true. I feel really bad for him if he can't go up there. I'll ask, though. Brian Bordelon, good morning. Kirk Taylor, I have one request. I need Jordy to tell a John Brady story. I haven't really laughed once in a while. Had to cancel our vacation to the Keys, but still driving to LA in 2 weeks. Cool, man. We'll look for you down here. And I'll try to get him to tell a John Brady story, but we gotta be leery of that. Josh Giraldo, good morning, Matt. Who do you have stepping up as LSU's number 3 receiver? Oh, I did that one already. How many LSU natty babies do you think we have out there? That's a great question. There will be, come September, October, there will be I don't think there's any doubt, there will be a news story around Women's Hospital in Baton Rouge around the number of babies being born named Joe or Burrow or Jamar Chase, whatever, Chase or whatever they'll name him, but Joe Brady, Joe Brady. There will be a lot of babies named after those guys come September, no doubt. Booty going to step in right away. I think Kayshon Booty will play, but you got to remember, and remember you got Moore as well from Kai Moore from Rummel. Both those guys, I think, duke it out, and I wouldn't doubt the Rummel kids, man. And a big part of it is the program that they run down there. They have guys that come in ready to play. Jamar Chase was ready to play. Christian Fulton came in ready to play. I mean, they're just the type of offense, the way they're coached there, those Rummel kids are ready to go. They're ready to roll when they get on campus. I remember that with Odell. If you remember, in 2011, Odell and Jarvis signed in the same class, and Jarvis was actually the 5-star. Jarvis was the one that was more highly rated than Odell. They were both highly rated, but Jarvis was more highly rated. Jarvis had a foot injury, but Odell got on the field because coming from Newman, and Les's big thing was route tree, and they were so technical with their receivers. It's why a lot of those guys, quite honestly, got to the NFL, even though they didn't catch a lot of passes. They all knew how to play the position. They knew the route tree. They understood route concepts. They understood the importance of blocking and all that sort of stuff. They were well-rounded receivers. Just never caught the ball, but Odell came in from Newman and knew all that stuff. Like, he knew how to play the position, so he got on the field right away as a freshman on that 2011 team, wearing number 33, if you recall. All right, y'all, I think we're done. Matt, who do you like in the replay of the 82 NCAA final between North Carolina and Georgetown? CBS is airing it today at 11. North Carolina's got a freshman named Mike something or other. Keep an eye on him. That freshman's pretty good. I think he may have something to say about that one. Joe Jubal, what's up, my dude? All right, y'all, about to sign off here. We're about done. Let me remind you again, tonight, Whiskey and Wine returns 9 o'clock Central on the 1045 ESPN YouTube channel. So, please, 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 go to youtube.com. Type in youtube.com or go on your phone and open the YouTube app. Type in 1045 ESPN. Page will pop up. Hit the subscribe button. Hit the bell. That'll be your notification, so when we go live, you'll be notified. Okay, y'all have an awesome day. Stay safe out there. And we're done. After that show, we're done with that show. You can go get dressed, buddy bear.
Okay.